Hello there. In this tutorial, I'm going to cover how you can make this cool neon sign effect in Touchdesigner. As you can see here, it's all real time, so we can edit the text. It'll update and just give you a glimpse. To start off with, the first thing we're going to do is create the SOP for one of these neon signs. We're then going to go over how to instance it. And finally, there's just a little bit of post-processing to give the glow effect. So I'm just going to start a new project. I have a new project here. Nothing inside. The first thing I'm going to do is customize my parent component. I'm going to add a page and then add a parameter for the text. Let's just go back up and fill in our text. We can type YouTube. Okay, so let's begin. So the first thing we're going to do, as I said, is create the SOP. Go ahead and add a base to start this off, and then I'm just going to go ahead and add one more base just to keep things organized. Okay, so in here, I'm going to grab that parameter with the parameter dat. And the operator, I'm going to do parent.project. This is a global selector, which is automatically set up for us. Okay, and let's see the output. I don't need any of these headers. Just need the value here. Next one I'm going to do is I made a little tool here called text to table rows. I'll quickly show you what it does. It's a little utility that takes a text field and breaks it up into table columns. All it is a script dat. Briefly let you see it here. Pretty simple. Gets the text, and for each character in the text, it appends the row. So this is just a script dat with a few lines of code. So what we get is some text on the left, and we get out a character in each table column. Okay, so from there, it's going to go ahead and give this a header. At the top, I'll use an insert dat and call this column letter. Okay, and so yeah, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have a dat that drives the letters and a position of each letter, so we can generate those. So I'm going to go ahead with the positioning. I'm going to use chops. Go ahead and add a pattern. We'll just add a null here so we can reference it. And this pattern, I'm going to make the length how many characters our text is. So text dot, how do we do this? One sec, let me reference my, that's num calls, num rows, but we want -1, so you don't want the header. Okay. So yeah, the first pattern I'm going to do is a ramp, I believe, or actually a step, sorry, because I want to step through. So this is going to be the Y position. And the values I'm using, let's see, first of all, number of steps, we want it the same number of steps as our channel. Basically, I'm just going to increment for each letter so we can move it on the y-axis. And I'm putting 0.66 for now. This is a value we can edit later to tweak things. So, and lastly, let's see. Something different. Oh, just gonna hit the reverse. Want it to go down. I want the top letter to be at the top, the bottom letter, the last letter to be at the bottom. Just copy and paste this. This is going to be a constant for the x. Let's do tx. Just going to make this amplitude 0. So I'm going to go ahead and merge these. Once again, this is the X and Y, 7 samples each. Okay. Let's put this on a null. And I'm going to do a chop2 dat. And we want the names here. And lastly, we're going to merge. And we want to do append columns. All right. Then let's put a null at the end. Or sorry, not a null, one out. Cool. So now what we have is a table of our the letter and the position we would like it at. And what I'm going to do is use a replicator. And basically what's going to happen is I'm going to make a base or a base. Let's make that base the master operator or the replicator. Go ahead and drag the table onto the replicator for the template dat. Okay. Also just going to call this master 1. And the replicator, let's change the operator prefix to letter. Let's just keep things tidy. Oops, don't need to save. Okay. Alright, so let's take a look here. In each one of these, what I like to do is actually put parameters on the base and then fill those parameters in the replicator. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to customize. Let's put this. So once again, add a page. I call it settings. We'll have one parameter for the letter, and then let's add an XY parameter for position. Cool. Okay, and once again, we're inside the master here. So inside the master, what I'm going to go ahead and do is add a text SOP. And let's see, I think we can actually point this to, I usually point to the font file. I don't know if there's much difference between a TTF and OTF. I just chose the TTF for now. And yeah, under text, we're going to do me.parent.car. I believe I called it letter. Okay. Oh, and let me fill that in. So the letter A. All right, cool. Next, we want this to be open polygons so we can get this line effect. What else? And just center. Cool. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add a transform. For this, we can just open parent parameters. This is going to position a letter. So translate X, translate Y, and yeah, let's add an out. Okay, let's go to our replicator, recreate. Okay, so now they are all the A's. Because, oops, sorry, I keep hitting save here. So yeah, what we want to do is edit this replicator callback. Don't mind that. Okay. We can just go ahead and delete all of this. Okay, so we're going to set the letter parameter. We want it to be an expression. And in here we can type our expression. We want to get the operator null1. Me.digits for the row, and the column we want to get the letter. Let's quickly save this, just check if this works. Alright, you can see it says YouTube. What I'm going to do is just fill in the X and Y now. So we can copy each one of these, just fill it in, tx, let's just double check that it's position.x, and then ty position y. So we're going to save that. Okay. You can just go in on one of these, double check. Cool. So from here, we'll throw down a merge SOP. And actually, I'm going to go back to this replicator here. What we're going to do is also hook up the out1. So the C is our component that's been cloned. We want to get the out1 operator and connect it to this merge. So how you can do that is through output connectors. You want the first one to connect to merge one. Let's see if this works. All right. Okay, so let's see. I might need to scale something differently. Let's take a look. Let's see. Let's view this here. I think I might need to. So to change this, let's put this back to 1. Okay. Didn't need a change. Okay. So you can see there, this, you know, we can tweak the Y spacing using this pattern. All right, so what we have here is a SOP. And next what I'm going to do is just center this. Could have done this in the patterns, but sometimes I find it just easier to do it here. So I'm going to go to this post tab in the transform, and if you set all these to origin, it lets you center the top, or the SOP. Cool. So this is the letters, but now we need to put a rectangle around it. What I did was I put a rounded rectangle, which takes a little work. So I'm going to go ahead and drop a null here really quick and collapse it. Okay, and what I'm going to do is inside here, we're going to get the coordinates of this SOP. And I don't know if there may be an operator to do this. I'm not sure if there is, but I basically just filled all these in using some Python. So go ahead and get a bunch of size attributes from this. So just null1, the height is dot size dot y, width, let's copy this, size dot x, I want the width height, and do min x, which is we can do it through this min, oops, what, not x, collapse these, do min x, y, min x, min y, max x, min max y. So these are all parameters that are accessible in Python on SOPs. Okay, so what this is the width and height, the minimum x coordinate, minimum y, max x, max y. I'm not sure if we're going to use all these, but yeah, they can be useful. We call this just get chords, and then let's just put a null. So what I'm going to do here is make a rounded rectangle using SOPs. When I'm aware there's no rounded rectangle SOP, so we have to compose this. This is the way I did it. Basically, I'm going to use a bunch of circles. Let's put an open arc. And basically going to make the circle be one corner. So this one is going to be the top left. So I'm going to put it min X, min Y. And we're going to do this for all top 4 corners. So just min top left. Make this top right. So top right is going to be max X and Y. And we also have to modify this a bit. Okay. Top left, top right. Bottom right. Let's figure out those angles. So bottom right is going to be max X, max Y. And bottom left. Okay. Bottom left would be min X, max Y. Okay. So those are our 4 corners. Next, I'm going to merge them. Wait a sec, got something backwards here. Sorry, the top. Let's make this max. Yeah. Right, the top one we want max Y. And the bottom we want min Y. Got my coordinates flipped here. Alright. Cool, so that's our corners. Then we can use the join SOP. And we want to wrap the first to last. Okay. And then lastly, I just believe we need this primitive. We want to make it open. And what else? Okay, let's see here. Okay. Yeah, how to change the bias here, and then the primitive will make it an open shape. Because once again, we want the line of it. Okay, so now let's get a merge, another merge, and let's put our sign with our letters. Okay, and let's see, we might need a primitive on the text. Let's see, just checking my other network here. Okay, let's just keep going in here. One sec, let me check my numbers here, make sure everything's matching up. Okay, have some discrepancies. Let's double check my values. No, I don't think that's going to change anything. know my origin? Oops. I want to scale this radius down. Okay, let's make these radius a little bit smaller here. Okay, it's looking a bit closer to what I had. Okay, I think we need to fix this issue. One sec, let me check. Let's see what I printed. Yeah, let's see if that's an issue later. All right, so let's just, before we do some instancing, let's just throw down a render in a camera. And actually, let's make this a geometry. So here we just had a base for the SOP. Now we actually make it a geometry so we can render it. What else do we do here? Let's just move the camera back. Put it out. Okay. And yeah, let's give this a material. Let's use the line mat. It's a lot of control. And let's see. I typically just make the width near and far the same. And then the color, let's just make this one. And reference that color. Okay, might want to toy around with that a bit and move this down. Okay. Alright, we might want to, let's see, let's just view this. Just make a couple little tweaks here so we can want to add a little more space in between the letters. Once again, we can do that in our pattern. We'll just spread that out a little bit. Great. Alright, so that's the majority of the SOP work. And yeah, now let's work on these instances. So I'm going to make another base. Okay. And let's see, in here, let's put a select down. Split left and right. I would like to select our final SOP here, and then I'm going to go ahead and copy this base I made to get the coordinates. Basically, for the instances, we need to know the size or shape here. Okay. And let's make, what do we do here? Okay, so we're going to instance with a grid. And let's see. You can adjust these numbers how you see fit. I'm just going to plug in some numbers that are working for me. And basically, we're going to do some math on the size of this. So let's see. Just throw down a null. Let's see. I think we have to do an operation on these, but just see. So what I'm going to do is make this active. Let's make the size of it reference these. Oh, no, it should be the width. So the size X is going to be the width of, our sign. and then I'm going to multiply it by me.r.calls. So basically for each column in the grid, we want to make the space for the sign. Let's do the same with the height. So rows -1. Okay, so we have a grid. Next, just going to put it on a null. Okay. Do a SOP too. Okay. And let's see. All right, for now, let's just do a simple out. Let's see how this looks. Let's split our viewer here real quick. Saw this layout in a few other tutorials. Put a geo viewer and a top viewer. The top viewer will show the top you have active, and then in your main network, you can turn off backdrop tops. All right, let's make our geo viewer a little bigger. All right, so let's slap this instance on there and see what we got. Okay, so yeah, put the instance in default instance and then just tx, ty, tz. Okay. Right. So right now they're all butted up against each other. Let's go back into here. My solution to this was just adding some space. So let's add a constant here. And the width. Let's make width and height to match the channels in this one. Let's add a math. We want to combine chops to add, match by channel name, and let's just increase a bit. I'm just increasing this constant here. Thought 0.5 was a nice value. All right, let's move our camera in just a bit. So as you can see though, this is kind of a little boring, a little too rigid layout. So we're going to do a couple more things. I'm going to go back into this base with our instances. And let's see, first thing I'm going to do is let's throw down some noise. And I'm going to make this random. Basically, I'm going to use this noise to offset each one of the columns. So to do that, we want to, I'm going to make the channel size. Let's do samples. Make the channel size be the number of columns of our grid. Since we start from 0, we subtract 1. I'm going to name it a ty. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, I like to use the trim. And we can say, so this is for each column. We want to offset it like this, and then what I'm going to do with this trim, make sure it's set to samples, absolute. I'm going to force this to be the size of all of our channels. SOP to 1 dot minus. Okay. And let's see. Something different here. Oh, yeah. Our noise. Let's make the extend left and extend right cycle. So basically this will just grow this across the columns now. Okay. And we'll use a math. Once again, we'll attach that, combine chops, add, make sure we allow a channel name. And now, if we affect our noise amplitude, you can see it moves each column. We can make this nice big value there. Okay. Another thing I did was had them animating up and down. So I'll show how to do that now. Okay, let's get a pattern with a constant. And similar to the trim, we want it to be number of samples. We only need the -1. Right, let's just double check. 54 samples, 54. And I'll hook this up to a speed. Make sure it's speed per sample. So we'll have this continually counting up. Just throw this into our map. Let's make sure it's a TY. Okay. Let's hook this up to our math. Immediately you're going to see it's going to keep going. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to reuse this get coordinates again. Throw this in there. Let's see. Or let's see, I wonder if there's a better way. Yeah. Basically, I want to limit it to the min and max y. Might be able to do it with this. Let's get our TY. Okay. Now we can, let's go ahead, drag this out. Go ahead and add a limit chop. So this speed is just continually counting up. And here with this limit, let's make it do a loop. Okay, so for minimum, let's put our min, max, max. And you'll see that, yeah, they basically jump down when they hit that. Since it's happening off screen, we don't see it occur. Cool. Okay. Another big component, obviously, is the color. So, right, we don't want them all white. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go back into this base with our instances. Let's add another base just to keep things organized here. And yeah, I'm going to use a constant. Constant. What we're going to do is take this top, be one by one. We're just going to use this for the color picker. So let's get a nice red. Let's see, go for a nice pink. Yeah, feel free to use any colors you'd like. Do yellow. And a nice turquoise. All right. Going to convert these into channels. Just throw them on there. All right. Can merge them. Okay, and then let's use a shuffle. No, what do we want here? going to sequence channels by name. Okay. So let's see, this is RGBA for each color. We don't actually need the alpha. Get rid of alpha. Okay. Let's, we're going to need this. We can change how the extend works. We want this to cycle. Once again, this is only 4 channels, so we're going to make this fit. Just put it out here, because this is getting our colors. And then we can go ahead and just copy and paste this trim we already made. Alright, so this is the correct number of samples here. Let's just go ahead, throw this in the merge. And actually, let's doesn't appear to be affecting things, but I believe we just should put TY in there. In the limit that loops them, we if our X and Y were ever bigger than our, if our X and Z were ever bigger, we don't want to be limiting those. Anyways, let's merge this to our instances, go back, and our instance 2 tab, let's select our R, G, and B. All right. We'll just throw some black over this as a constant. All right, so this is what we got so far. Looking pretty good. Okay, so one little, if I show you my original thing here, where do I do it? One little nice to have I added was this kind of sparkling effect. Let me pull it out from my original 1 second. So my original, I kind of have them, each letter animating. Thought it was a nice effect. So what we can do, I'm going to go back into our SOP here. And I'm going to add an alpha channel to this data and hook it up. So we're going to go into this base. It's generating our table. I'm going to do this using a ramp. There's a bunch of different ways you can do this. Alright, so we want, just grab this logic here. Want the width to that, height to be 1. Okay, so there's a pixel for each value. Let's just make this 32-bit float. We just need mono and alpha. Let's do nearest pixel. All right. Go ahead and add a transform. I like to use as a beat. This could really be anything. With a beat, I can sync it up to some music or something. We go ahead and use the. Also, let's make the beat every single beat, not every 4. Okay, let's put that null on there. Let's transform. I'm going to put it nearest pixel again. And what we're going to do is let's make the translate be pixels. Every beat, we're going to shift this up 1 pixel. And let's make the tile repeat. So it goes like that. I think we might even want this a little faster. Okay. So what we're going to do is get the value of each one of these pixels. Let's throw a null down. Convert this to channels. We just need the alpha layer. You know what? No, let's just get the red. Good enough. Okay. And we can shift this over a little bit. Just merge that into here. Okay. Also, I don't think I want it going all the way opaque, so let's just... Oh, we don't want this going all the way black, so we can adjust this a little bit. We can fine-tune that after. Let's go ahead and put a rename here. I'm going to call it the alpha, or A. Okay, so now we have an A channel. Let's make sure it's looking good. So on the same vein as the position, I'm going to go ahead and add a alpha parameter. So float. Once again, I went inside our master base here for the letters. Just make this some value. And I'm going to do this by using a point SOP, I believe. So the point SOP, we can change the point color, which is what I'm going to do here. Okay, let's see, where's the color? Right here. Okay, I'm going to add color. Let's just make this one at white, and then the alpha. Let's open parent parameters and drag the alpha in. All right. Let's replicate all. Okay. And then let's go ahead and go into our replicator callbacks. And let's just look that up to be alpha, get the A. Let's replicate again. All right, you'll see here each letter is now animating. The color, as I said, we could tweak this ramp here is controlling, so you know, can make it darker for more dramatic effect. Make it lighter. You could also let's see, the transform, we can make it a mirror so it goes in and out like that. I prefer the repeat. Yeah, it's up to you. Okay, so that's pretty much got the effect. Last little thing I'm going to do is since they're neon signs, you know, usually we want to have them looking like they're glowing. You can do that with a simple blur. We can change that once we hook it up. I'm going to put a level as well. And throw these on a comp. Let's do over. Actually, let's do add. I think it's going to look better. So let's drag this up. Just do this so we can get it a bit bigger. So again, these values are up to you, wherever you see fit. Turn it down a little. And we can increase the brightness here. I think let's make this a 32-bit. Okay, great. So yeah, we have a neon sign effect. Text is up to you. Thank you for watching.